Funding provided by
the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services encourages Iowans to talk to their doctor or healthcare provider about vaccines. Learn more at hhs.iowa.gov or ask your healthcare provider.
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.
Fairway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fairway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fairway.com.
Across Iowa, hundreds of neighborhood banks strive to serve their communities, provide jobs, and help local businesses. Iowa banks are proud to back the life you build. Learn more at iowabankers.com.
Musco Lighting is honored to support Iowa PBS. We're an Iowa company that lights local schools, community fields, and stadiums, arenas, and venues in more than 125 countries. While our reach is global, our commitment is local.
We've had all the seasons this week. We started in like the 60s, then we had a snowstorm, then we had some melting and rain, and we've just had a great week of basketball here at Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines, where we are getting ready for our second matchup of our girls high school state championship night of coverage here from Wells Fargo Arena. Hello everybody, I'm Paul Yeager. Glad to have you around us again tonight as we broadcast to all 99 counties. So happy that you are here, and I want to remind you that this is just night one. Night two is coming up tomorrow when we'll do 3 championship games. But first, we are going to go down courtside where we have Brad Wells and Ellie Ruffridge as they get you ready for 1 versus 2, Wahlert and Mount Vernon.
Thank you very much, Paul. Just one season here inside Wells Fargo Arena, championship season, and it is the Dubuque Wahlert Golden Eagles, their first appearance in a title game, and the Mount Vernon Mustangs seeking their first title since 2010, alongside Ellie Ruffridge, Hall of Famer now with the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Association. I'm Brad Wells, and Ellie, you got 1 versus 2. You have Mount Vernon on a 24-game win streak. Dubuque Wahlert has never been ranked this high in school history. It all comes down to tonight.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. We got 2 very, very similar teams with Claire Lucan inside the post for Wahlert, and then on the other side you got Chloe Meester for Mount Vernon, and then you got really good guards on both sides. It's going to be a really fun matchup here tonight.
All right, let's learn a little more about these teams as we take a look at Dubuque Wahlert, their 11th trip overall to the state tournament and 3rd consecutive. You mentioned Claire Lucan, school's career scoring leader, and Ruth Tauber, Claire King, also leaders on this team. A couple of juniors that will need to be impactful here today for Mount Vernon. Their 7th trip to state overall, their 2nd straight. They have 4 players in double figures as Sydney Huber leads the way. A Division I recruit will head to Evansville, and Chloe Meester, a Division I recruit who will play volleyball at Louisville. Career leader in blocks in basketball, leads the team in rebounds, has had some monster performances on the glass here today. And we send it across the court now. Public address announcer Joe Hammond with introductions.
Please welcome the Dubuque Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles. And now, let's hear it for the Mount Vernon Mustangs. Fans, it's now time to introduce the players in tonight's championship matchup. First, the non-starters for the Dubuque Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles. Number 2, Lucy Lucan. Number 10, Kayla Webker. Number 11, Mila Breithaupt. Number 23, Celia Scher. Number 33, Ella Kennedy. At number 44, Cameron Tyson. The assistant coaches for Dubuque Wahlert Catholic are TJ King, Matt May, Bob Knoll, and Gary Schuster. Now let's meet the non-starters for the Mount Vernon Mustangs. Number 3, Olivia Truitt. Number 4, Quinn Pershing. Number 5, Aaron Jackson. Number 14, Lucy Wishmeyer. Number 21, Sophia Meester. Number 24, Riley Rasmussen. Number 25, Ella Wilson. The assistant coaches for Mount Vernon are Jacob Meisner, Ben Kanake, Susan Orvis, and Jason Pershing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for tonight's starting lineups? For Wahlert Catholic at guard, a 5'5" junior, number 1, Claire King. And for Mount Vernon at guard, a 5'5" freshman, number 10, Savannah Wright. For Wahlert Catholic at forward, a 5'10" senior, number 3, Olivia Donovan. And for Mount Vernon at guard, a 5'5" junior, number 11, Taylor Frank. For Wahlert Catholic at forward, a 5'10" sophomore, number 5, Carolyn Freed. And for Mount Vernon at center, a 6'3" senior, number 20, Chloe Meester. For Wahlert Catholic at guard, a 5'6" junior, number 30, Ruth Tauber. And for Mount Vernon at guard, a 5'8" junior, number 22, Courtney Frank. For Wahlert Catholic at forward, a 5'11" senior, number 50, Claire Lucan. And for Mount Vernon at guard, a 6' senior, number 23, Sydney Huber. The head coach for Wahlert Catholic is Chris Spiegler, and the head coach for Mount Vernon is Nate Sanderson. The floor officials tonight are Breanne Byerly, Jeff Horst, and Mark Gassman. The bench official is Rob Ratchford. Welcome, Wahlert Catholic and Mount Vernon. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union promotes good sportsmanship by participants.
And we get ready for this Class 3A matchup by firing up our keys to the game. Ellie, you have seen these teams down here. Let's start with the Golden Eagles. What do they need to do to take home a state title?
Yeah, defensively, they need to limit post touches by Chloe Meester. She averages about 15 points a game, and if they can limit those post touches and then also pack the paint, they'll be in a good situation. And offensively, they need help from the supporting cast. And then on Mount Vernon's side, defensively, they got to focus on 50. Shut Claire Lucan down. And then offensively, they got to have really good ball movement.
They're underway. Mount Vernon wins the tip and has the first possession as Taylor Frank, one of the twins for the Mount Vernon Mustangs. Twin sister Courtney Frank, number 22. And Dubuque Wahlert with their opening possession. Ruth Tauber, top of the key, has it knocked away and a foul called on Courtney Frank.
Mustangs coming out with a lot of defensive pressure right there.
Ellie, you've been in a state championship game before. How nerve-wracking are the first couple of minutes?
Well, again, as a coach, I tell players this too. The first couple of minutes is just settling in, and you get the nerves out, the jitters out, and maybe right there that was just a little jitter right there. She's got to be smart there, though, moving forward because they need her in this game.
Olivia Donovan with a basket, a senior, a 3-year starter, wants to play college volleyball, and an excellent rebounder. She would be one of the supporting cast members you're talking about. Needs to come up with some point production as Courtney Frank misses strong, and now Donovan throws it ahead for Lucan, who can hit the three. Oh, rattles around and out, and Frank with the rebound.
And that's exactly what she'll do. No hesitation, stop and pop from three. If Mount Vernon isn't going to guard her, she's going to take what the defense has given her.
Claire Lucan comes into this state tournament with the most made threes on the team this year. Another stop defensively for Dubuque Wahlert. From the corner, in and out for Carolyn Freed. Sophomore had 7 points, 9 rebounds against Williamsburg in the semifinal win. Freed also had 8 points in the opener against Spirit Lake. Here's Sydney Huber, Division I recruit going to the University of Evansville. Turn around, knock it in.
And that was smooth right there. She was patient right there on offense, drove hard with her left hand. Tough finish right there by the Evansville commit.
Sydney Huber played 2 years at Cedar Rapids Xavier, and this is her second season with Mount Vernon. Also is on the 3A volleyball all-tournament team as the setter, and a basket from Freed puts Wahlert back in front.
And that's what Freed does. She just lets the game come to her. She doesn't force anything. And I'd say she's like really quiet for them, but in really big ways, stepping up right there and making back-to-back plays.
And the three-point is answered by Sydney Huber, the senior, firing the first couple of shots for the Mustangs.
Mustangs right here just matched up man-to-man. All of the attention right now on number 50.
And a takeaway by Savannah Wright. This is a freshman that is so fun to watch, and good defensive pressure there from Tauber to knock that pass away. Some veterans on both teams, but both teams will have a freshman. Mount Vernon's Savannah Wright, a starter for this year's team. There's a three, top of the key from Tauber. And a long rebound out to Claire King.
You see this matchup right here with Claire Lucan and Sydney Huber guarding her. They're opponents right now tonight, but they're actually AAU teammates, and they go back years. They're really good friends, and part of the reasons why Huber is guarding Lucan is because she knows how to play her so well, and that's one of the strategies the Mustangs come in tonight with.
They share a coach in the offseason as well, as Sydney Huber's mom, Stacy. You would know her in girls basketball as Stacy Freeze went on to a phenomenal career at Iowa State University, became a legend underneath the direction of Bill Fenley. And traveling violation turns it over. There you see Mount Vernon head coach Nate Sanderson in his 4th year at Mount Vernon, 23rd season at the helm. Vernon with a basketball. And Sydney Huber, the early spark offensively, and at least 7 points right away. And she comes into this championship game, was closing in on a milestone, and she's got 10 right now.
She is hot right now. If you're Wahlert, you have to locate her, especially early on.
Sydney Huber came into this game just shy of 1,000 career points. She had 996, and in the first quarter blows past her 1,000th career point. There's a rebound inside by Chloe Meester, but a jump ball, a good fight by Freed underneath.
Yeah, Coach Sanderson talked to us a little bit before the game saying, okay, here's a fun fact for you about Sydney Huber, saying that she was 4 points away from getting to 1K, and what a milestone that she just accomplished right here. Congratulations to her.
To do it in a state championship game, that's
Absolutely.
special.
And you know what would be even better is if she won a state championship after this. You got a couple things to celebrate here.
There's Donovan firing the three. Wahlert with the answer.
Again, early on, you have other Wahlert players stepping up big, especially when all the attention is on Claire Lucan on the offensive side. Olivia Donovan coming up.
Here's the takeaway and a travel on Lucan. As a senior, has signed to play basketball at Maryville University down in St. Louis, and has over 1,200 career points, captain for 2 years. And let's take a look at Sydney Huber here. Some early work for the Mustang senior.
Yeah, she can go downhill. She can pop it right there on the screen. She can do it all, and that's why she's going to play at the Division I level.
No, pass knocked out of bounds. It will stay with Mount Vernon here. 2:17 to play in the first quarter. Dubuque Wahlert head coach Chris Spiegel, her 40th career season of coaching basketball. And we're talking about Sydney Huber, her tie to Bill Fenley. Well, coach has a tie to Bill Fenley as well, as Taylor Frank with 2 points. Mount Vernon a 4-point lead. There's a tip pass. They're looking for more. Savannah Wright, the deflection, now kicks it out to Courtney Frank. And here is Huber back to the right hand. Sydney Huber rolling offensively, and she is a perfect 5 for 5.
And that's exactly what you want if you're a Mustang fan right now. If she's hot early on, that's a really, really good sign. But again, I said this in the pregame show, it could be anyone's night for Mount Vernon. That they're so deep and have so many different weapons.
And this is going to be a foul underneath. This will go on Claire Lucan. And for Lucan, that will be her first personal, as Chloe Meester checks out. And we have a 30-second timeout on the floor. Well, we catch our breath here. A fast start in this 3A championship game, as we talked about Bill Fenley references. As we take a look at Dubuque Wahlert's title here, Chris Spiegel, a really interesting background for her, as when she was a player, she ended up playing at William Penn and won an AIAW national title, a Division II national title. And she said, my coach was the late Bob Spencer, was fantastic. She said, you'll never guess who the GA, the graduate assistant on that William Penn team was. It was Bill Fenley. So Bill Fenley helped coach Spiegel in her college days. Fun fact, all kinds of different connections. Sometimes, Ellie, a coach that's an assistant or a graduate assistant, or maybe even a player that you play against, might see them 10, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years down the road, and they can still leave an impact on you, can't they?
Absolutely. It's so fun to create those relationships and all those connections. It's so special what the game of basketball can bring to your life. I've met some of the most amazing people, have the best of friends, and I still am in contact with a lot of my coaches. And a lot of people say it's bigger than basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. The rebound underneath for Claire Lukin. As Wahlert goes to work. 5 points for Donovan early on, 3 for Freed, 2 for Tauber. Claire Lukin 0 for 2. And King backs it out with 6 on the shot clock. Firing it up is Tauber. Offensive rebound is King. Just 3 seconds left, though. And now Lukin over to King. Did she get it off in time? It does not matter. 14-10 is our score at the end of the first quarter. Mount Vernon, #1, and Dubuque Wahlert, #2. How did we get here to this state championship game? Let's bring in our very own Paul Yeager, who has our journey to the championship. Paul?
How about I tell you how they got here? Thank you, Brad. That's a great setup. Let's talk about this 3A, these two teams. Dubuque Wahlert, they played Williamsburg, the Raiders. And it was Claire Lukin. And then it was Claire Lukin. Then it was Claire Lukin. She hits the three-pointer, she gets a rebound, she has the putback layup, she has the short-range jumper. Here she is attacking the hoop. It was a lot of Claire Lukin. Wahlert led at half, 29-14, and just continued to pour it on in the second half. There's a nice steal off the defensive play, and then here she is out on the run-out. Good fake, and Wahlert rolls 52-34. Mount Vernon, well, they were doing battle against ELC, Esterville Lincoln Central. Here it is Taylor Frank on the putback. She gets the rebound on the missed 3. And then it's Frank up. Love this pass to Sydney Huber. The left-hand finish. And then it's Courtney Frank again. Catches the board, puts it right back up. Right place, right time. And then it's coast to coast. Courtney Frank all over the place. Mount Vernon wins 35-34 over ELC. And that is how we made it to this final game. Let's go back down to Brad.
Thank you very much, Paul. And now it's all on the line. A state championship up for grabs. Dubuque Wahlert, 3rd consecutive state tournament. And their quarterfinal win, just their 2nd win at state ever. A 2004 victory. Was the only one here in Des Moines.
You don't need to remind me about the quarterfinal game, Brad. I was there. I witnessed it.
Well, as an assistant coach for Spirit Lake, you thought that this Dubuque Wahlert team was good. You thought if you could get past Dubuque Wahlert, you might be able to get to that championship game, and you thought Dubuque Wahlert would have a great chance too, right? Yeah,
I thought we had a really good game plan. So for those of you listening, you're like, what are they talking about? I actually am an assistant coach at Spirit Lake. Spirit Lake played Dubuque Wahlert first round here and ended up being too close, but didn't come out on top, and now we're here calling Wallert's game. And it's funny, the girls the other night were like, wait, didn't we play against you on Monday? I'm like, yep.
Claire Lukin scored 26 points in that game, as Paul alluded to. Big first and third quarters. And there is 2 more from Taylor Frank.
Taylor Frank has gotten to the basket a few times early on in this game. She's got a really quick first step, hard move to the basket, unable to convert on those first couple, but that was a pretty move right there and a good finish.
6-point lead for Mount Vernon. Here comes King. The jumper is good. Dubuque Wahlert getting some production outside of Lukin, and Lukin still scoreless here. A minute and a half into the second quarter.
And that's exactly what we talked about. Players coming up big in big moments.
Courtney Frank out to Taylor Frank. And now Huber fires the 3. For Huber, that's her first miss of the game. A leading scorer with 12 points here in that 3A championship game. So 3 from the right side for Free to battle for the rebound. 2 scrappy teams on the floor here. Every loose ball, every rebound, Ellie, you got to earn it, don't you?
Well, again, this is it. This is it.
And that's 2 fouls now on Claire Lukin, the senior. Coach Spiegler's Gonna trust her senior. Saw her just verbalize, hey, you got to be smart. And now Chloe Meester comes into the game, the senior, and now Lucan's got to be careful while she's guarding Meester.
So if I'm Mount Vernon right here, if you're smart and you have a basketball IQ, I'd be getting it inside and putting Lucan in those tough situations, because she's got to be careful to not commit her third foul right here.
And the foul is underneath, but it goes on Lucy Lucan, the sophomore. Helping older sister out there on the defense. He goes inside. Here's Meester, a little contact there, no whistle. Meester missed the shot, her first attempt of the game. And now Lucan attacks, kicks out. Comes free, gets called for the traveling violation.
And I thought that right there, Wahlert did a really good job of moving the ball. They weren't pass happy around the perimeter. They were actually attacking the lane, trying to find open looks. Ended up with a turnover right there, but I like that offensive possession right there, even though it ended with a turnover.
For Dubuque Wahlert, Ellie, they have a motto. They say SHU, and it means S-H-U, right? Shoot, hustle, and unite. It's for them just to kind of stay focused and in a game, but also over the course of the season.
Yeah, they pick a motto every year, and SHU is their motto this year. And so again, whenever they're, going through adverse times or, struggling in a game, they remind themselves, SHU, SHU. And sometimes they even write it on their body. And speaking of body art, Mount Vernon does the same thing with body art.
Yep. Good little mental reminders. Both these coaches really get locked in to help these athletes be as confident and as calm in their play as they can be.
Sometimes you need those reminders, and if you look closely on camera, the Mustangs have written messages or symbols written in pen, whether it's on their wrists, on their upper thigh, knees.
Not aware of any permanent tattoos on the Mount Vernon team, but there's a basket by Courtney Frank, and Frank staying aggressive. And here's a quick shot from Lucy Lucan. And now Frank with another rebound, and Wahlert now turning up the pressure here. And a timeout taken by Mount Vernon head coach Nate Sanderson. That clock was getting close to the 10-second violation. And right now, let's go to Dubuque Wahlert and listen in head coach Chris Spiegler.
Hey, 30, hey, remember when we run chin, right? When we run chin right here, we're gonna go here, you cut, come right up on that. We get a little screen on that, okay? Okay, hey, keep battling, watch. You always you gotta switch, but look, they're going to that back door. We'll give some help on that, right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, Eagles.
Coach Chris Spiegler earning her 200th win at Wahlert. Well, following the training process for service dogs, enjoying music from the Texas Tenors, Tony Bennett, Willie Nelson, and more during Festival 2025. It's taking place now until March 16th. And speaking of service dogs, Coach Spiegler, in her spare time, she's retired now, plays a lot of pickleball, but when she's not on the pickleball courts, she has a therapy dog, Mabel, that she takes to a couple of schools in Dubuque. And she said it's one of the most rewarding things that I have ever done. And coached high school biology for many, many years. 34 years at Hempstead, a few years at Wahlert. But she says taking this therapy dog around is just melts your heart. The kids just absolutely love Mabel.
And I love that, being an educator. I teach 6th grade up in Spare Lake, and good take right there. Just having a dog, just a symbol of comfort and happiness right there for those kids. It makes all the difference. And for her to do that, go out of her way, that's special right there.
And I know it gets pretty competitive on the pickleball courts, too. I was talking to some school administrators. They want nothing to do with Coach Spiegler. Like, I have not played her. They didn't say they were scared to play her, but they wouldn't commit to playing her. Here's a three. In and out for Huber. And a rebound cleared underneath by Lukin. Now King into the lane, and Chloe Meester at 6'3". So intimidating down in the lane. Goes up and grabs the rebound, and a foul is going to go on Lucy Lukin. And look at that. Chloe Meester is going to play volleyball at Louisville. She's a captain on this basketball team. She was captain of the all-tournament team. She was the Iowa Gatorade and the Iowa Girls Coaches Association Volleyball Player of the Year. Oh, by the way, Mount Vernon 2024 state champs. Is that a block or is that a kill if you're in volleyball? Because
well, we're playing basketball right now, so I think you got to say it's a block.
Goes down as a block, absolutely. So, mom and dad in the stands as well, and a dad that you would know for sure, Brad Meester. He is a UNI Hall of Fame football player and played in the NFL for 14 seasons with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but got it all started at Appleton Parkersburg underneath legendary head coach Ed Thomas. There's Lukin underneath. Meester grabs the rebound as Lukin still looking for her first points. 0 for 6 now, and there you see Brad and Jamie Meester. And down here, Ellie, we promote the Iowa girls, so I had a good long conversation with Jamie. She went to state in volleyball and basketball as a senior. So don't be thinking that Chloe gets all this talent from Brad, who played in the NFL for 4 seasons. But they absolutely are having a blast. Both say it's way more nervous as a parent than when they were an athlete themselves.
Oh, I would think so. And I think if you're a parent for any of these girls out here, you're thinking the same thing because you just want them to succeed. You want the best for them. And I bet right there, Lukin's parents are pretty happy with that make right there.
Mom Dawn played at Wahlert, and then co-college Claire Lukin with her first basket. Will it be a lid lifter for the senior? Final minute of this first half. Quarter number 2 winding down. The defensive pressure from the freshman Savannah Wright. Stepsister to the Frank sisters, Taylor and Courtney. And this is a foul that's going to go on Savannah Wright.
We talk so much about Chloe Meester, the Frank sisters, Sydney Huber, but Savannah Wright has really come into her own this year as a freshman. In that quarterfinal game, she had 23 points for her Wells Fargo debut.
How about that?
It's pretty impressive as a freshman.
You nervous for the state tournament? Nah. 23 points? Holy moly. All right, shot clock is off here. Final seconds of the second quarter. And the freshman backs it out. I love the student sections try and throw the players off with the premature countdown of the clock. Here goes Wright. Over to Frank. Frank at the horn gets it to go. And Mount Vernon will take a 7-point lead into the halftime break. 12 points from Sydney Huber, 6 from Taylor Frank, and 1 right before the horn at the end of the second quarter. Mount Vernon, Ellie's looking strong, isn't she?
Very strong. And again, we've talked about this several times. They got all kinds of weapons. It could be anybody's night. It just depends on what the defense is giving you. Players are taking advantage of it right here. All
right, let's go up top. Paul Yeager is going to be speaking with Mount Vernon head coach here in just a moment. Paul?
All right, thank you very much, Brad Wells and Ellie Ruffridge. Take a little breather there for a moment. Mount Vernon leads at the break, and we are just getting started here on our halftime. And one of the things we do is have conversations with coaches. Nate Sanderson, we've talked to you before in the final game, different colors, but right now, pretty good result for you. How does it lift your team when you have a bucket like that right as the horn sounds.
Well, it's great execution there, Paul, in the last possession, just to be able to run the clock down there. We love having Savvy in the middle of the floor there with a lot of space, and she did a nice job executing there. And, of course, Courtney being able to split that defense. Great momentum here going into the half.
I have Huber written down on my card like 27 times. What's she doing right there in that first half?
Well, she does a lot for us. I mean, she's locking down Lucan at the defensive end. That's probably the biggest contribution we needed from her tonight. They're old friends that have played together on AAU team for a long time. And so Sid wanted that assignment tonight. She's done a great job. And then obviously been able to convert at the offensive end. She's been outstanding.
It's been outstanding. Lastly, before you go, this is a good athletic squad. How do you continue to keep them focused for those final 2 quarters?
Well, they're certainly motivated. It doesn't take a lot to get up for a state championship game, and I thought the defense has been really good. It comes down to really those loose balls. Wahlert is so good at just keeping offensive rebound opportunities alive and chasing down loose balls. If we can finish those possessions and continue the great shots, I like where we're at here, Paul.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate the time as always.
You bet.
That's Nate Sanderson, head coach for the Mount Vernon Mustangs. They do lead at the break. We're going to go back down to the floor now. Part of the fun. We have 4 different awards to be given away, some of them pretty special. Here's Jason.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's First Lady Award is the most prestigious award the IGHSAU bestows on an individual. It is given to a daughter of Iowa, recognizing the millions of girls of the Commonwealth who have carried the tradition and training of a sport into varied and important careers, and for singularly illustrious and most memorable accomplishments. The 16th recipient of the IGHSAU First Lady Award is Heidi Reed. Accompanying Heidi tonight is the 2025 Dr. Ewing Cooley Scholarship recipient, Mackenzie Riley of Decorah. Heidi is completing her 41st year as an employee of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. She began her service with the IGHSAU as the organization's receptionist and is now the program and art director. Heidi is also permanent chair of the all-important IGHSAU Fund Committee. Heidi's handiwork and ideas are evident at all of the IGHSAU tournaments, from the pink chair, the ticket punch signs, to all of the pink that is displayed at championship events. Heidi's imagination and talent have brought many ideas to life, and she's played a large role in showcasing and celebrating the Iowa girl. Heidi is an Iowa girl through and through. A native of Danbury, she was a 3-sport athlete at Schleswig High School. She went on to play softball and basketball at Iowa Central Community College and later softball at Northwest Missouri State. Heidi resides in Norwalk with her husband Ron. They have 3 daughters, Nikki, Mallory, and Mackenzie, 5 granddaughters, and 2 grandsons. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of the First Lady Award, the IGHSAU's own Heidi Reed. Presenting Heidi with her award is IGHSAU Executive Director Aaron Gerlich. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union's Golden Plaque of Distinction Award honors the Iowa coach who's demonstrated a successful career while making notable contributions towards school, community, and the coaching profession. Presenting the Golden Plaque of Distinction Award is IGHSAU Executive Director Aaron Gerlich, along with basketball administrator Gary Ross. The 2025 recipient of the Basketball Golden Plaque Award is Brian Wheatley of North Lynn. Brian has been coaching the North Lynn girls basketball team since 2003. After inheriting a team that did not win a game, Brian has compiled a record of 421 wins with just 90 losses. He has taken North Lynn to 9 state tournaments, winning 2 state titles, 1 runner-up finish, and 4 trips to the semifinals. His North Lynn teams have won 20 or more games for 15 consecutive seasons, and the Lynx have captured the Tri-Rivers Conference title the last 13 years. Brian has been named Iowa Basketball Coaches Association Coach of the Year 4 times, and he's a 3-time Coach of the Year pick by the Iowa Girls Coaches Association, where he is a member of the organization's Basketball Hall of Fame. He's also served on the IGHSAU Basketball Advisory Committee and is active in the IGCA All-District and All-State selection process. Brian's also North Lynn's Activities Director and coaches middle school baseball and football. Brian and his wife Melissa have 4 children, Ben, Megan, Braden, and Brennan. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 recipient of the Basketball Golden Plaque of Distinction from North Lynn High School, Brian Wheatley. The Jack North Award is presented to a distinguished citizen of statewide reputation and outstanding accomplishment. The award is named after the former IGHSAU Information Director. Presenting today's award is IGHSAU Executive Director Aaron Gerlich. John Overton is this year's recipient of the award. John was an administrative assistant and assistant director at the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union for 32 years. He served the IGHSAU in many capacities throughout his tenure. He was the venue and awards coordinator for many years and was the sport administrator for track and field along with cross country. He was instrumental in the establishment of bowling, becoming the 10th sanctioned sport at the IGHSAU, administrating the sport for 9 years until his retirement in 2017. John and his wife Susan reside in Norwalk. He has 2 daughters, Amy and Jenny, along with 3 granddaughters, Audrina, Aniston, and Emma. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the recipient of the Jack North Award, John Overton. The E. Wayne Cooley Scholarship is awarded annually to the senior that reflects discipline, perseverance, character, superior skill achievement, and citizen traits that personify the life and expectations of Dr. E. Wayne Cooley, the longtime executive secretary of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. The winner receives a $15,000 scholarship over 4 years as she attends the Iowa college or university of her choice. Presenting the award today is Aaron Gerlich, executive director of the IGHSAU. The 2025 recipient of the Cooley Scholarship is Mackenzie Riley of Decorah. Mackenzie ranks first in her class with a 4.0 grade point average. She is an AP scholar and is involved in speech, choir, National Honor Society, student leadership, and yearbook. Mackenzie has been a standout performer in cross country and track and field. Her distance medley, 4x400, and sprint medley relay teams have qualified for the state track and field meet, while she was also an individual qualifier in the 400 meters. In addition to her school activities, Mackenzie is also involved with many different service projects. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2025 recipient of the E. Wayne Cooley Scholarship from Decorah High School, Mackenzie Riley.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the cleanest show in town.
You're invited to a special event in Lincoln, Nebraska, as we celebrate the 50th season of Market to Market. Join me, Paul Yeager, on March 31 at Nebraska Public Media, where I'll lead a live podcast discussion with market analyst Ross Baldwin. We've been a trusted source of agricultural news and analysis for 5 decades. Join us as we look back on 50 incredible seasons and look forward to many more. Reserve your seat at markettomarket.org.
Iowa PBS celebrates Festival with special programs, concerts, and thank you gifts. Be sure to check out the in-person events you can choose as thank you gifts. A day tour of the historic buildings of Mason City and Clear Lake, the exclusive Totally Tractors tour in Waterloo, and a day tour of the historic buildings of Council Bluffs, all taking place this year. Call 800-779-7000. Visit iowapbs.org or scan the QR code and support Iowa PBS today.
Looking for something new to watch? Iowa PBS Passport has you covered. Check out one of our latest shows on the app, Dogs of Service. Stream anytime, anywhere, on any device. Support public media today during Festival and see more local programming with Iowa PBS Passport. Don't forget to binge our thrilling dramas, jaw-dropping documentaries, and other PBS favorites today.
The gentle storytelling and picturesque setting of All Creatures Great and Small on Masterpiece continue to enchant PBS viewers. In a new special, we'll discuss the warm, folksy wisdom found in these timeless tales. We'll hear from the cast and creators of the show, and also local residents, including the daughter and son of the author. Join us for All Creatures Great and Small, the wisdom of the Dales.
Sunday evening at 7 on Iowa PBS.
After a man visiting France dies, his widow, Jean White, makes a decision.
There's a little town called Saint-Victoire. I'm on my way.
And when she discovers a priceless ring is missing,
somebody must have taken it.
She seeks out the truth.
I can prove that somebody killed my husband.
Good morning to you too.
Sorry, morning.
The charming series.
I'm getting a bit lost in translation.
The Madame Blanc Mysteries.
Coming to Iowa PBS March 23rd.
Coming up on the next episode of Iowa Life, explore a community movement that encourages meaningful conversations.
You have to have a body like we have to be truly intelligent.
Learn about a support system helping refugees. And meet an athlete who has participated in several events at the Special Olympics. That and more on the next Iowa Life.
Tuesdays at 6:30 and Sundays at 10:30 a.m. on Iowa PBS.
In this Class 3A, Mount Vernon leads Dubuque Wahlert 22-15, and we really want to just do extra effort, and we want to make the Mount Vernon volleyball team run a lot. They've already been on the court tonight as Parade of Champions, and now they're up here with us talking at halftime. Oh, and by the way, you're cheering for your team as well. All right, so Sydney Maui is on the far side. Paige Sherburne is in the middle. Coach Maggie Willems is nearest. Coach, what's it like to be in a championship game that you're not coaching? Are you a little less nervous?
Hey, it's a lot of fun and easy to be at a championship game and just cheer on our team and our coaching staff. It's a wonderful chance to just relax and encourage the Mustangs to be successful.
All right, Sydney, you walked out there today. What was it like to have when they announced you again as state champion?
It was just super fun. I mean, there's nothing like getting that first state championship the first time, but walking out again and just reliving those memories was great.
All right, are you cheering right now? Are you nervous for your friends?
You know what? I think it's a lot more. It's a lot more relaxed now that I'm not out there on the court. I'm just having a ton of fun.
All right, well, Paige, give the mic to Paige here because we want to ask her a couple questions. All right, walking on the court, what's the comparison between a state volleyball final and the basketball final?
I would say, I feel like during the state volleyball, we had the flames, we had so much going on, and here it was a little more laid back, so I could feel like it would make you more relaxed before your game.
Okay, so you have friends on the team
Yes.
that were players with you on that volleyball team. You have one pink shirt, they have one pink. Are they going to hang it over your head if they can hold on and win and have two?
I think they might. I think they might just kind of tease me about it, but there's not much I can do about it.
That's the way it goes. Sydney, I understand you're going to keep playing volleyball next level. You're going to Arkansas. Is that what it is?
Yes.
So big time environment. This is like big time volleyball here, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just love all the competition. I love playing in those big environments. It makes it so much more exciting for me.
All right, so here's a look at the highlights of your championship game. What do you remember from that night there, Sydney?
Honestly, more than anything, I just remember how much fun we were having on the court. After every point, someone was laughing. We were all smiling, cheering each other on. It was amazing.
Paige, are you kidding me? People were laughing? You're laughing during a game? What's that all about?
Oh, I can't lie. We're cracking jokes out there while we're playing. You know, it kind of helps calm the nerves when we're out there, and it always brings everyone else when everyone else is smiling and laughing.
All right, Coach, hoisting the trophy there, and they're putting it. How did the trophy get home to Mount Vernon that night?
The trophy actually rode right in the front bus seat area with us, so it was under close watch by our coaching staff on the way home.
And was there a fun community celebration when you came back? Did they pull out the fire truck and all of that?
They do. We get brought home by the fire trucks, and then we have a nice reception at the high school where we're celebrated by our community.
Okay, so the kids can hear us, but as adults here, let's be honest. Do they realize how cool this is right now that they've been treated the way they have in these championship games?
Well, I think the Parade of Champions that the Girls Athletic Union does is one of the reasons they're just the best union in the nation. And I think our kids will appreciate it even more as they get older. It's really an incredible organization that we're lucky to be honored by.
Well, I appreciate you coming up here and enjoy. You still got a couple minutes before the second half begins. That's Maggie Willems, Paige Sherbin, and Sydney Maui. Thank you so much, ladies. Congratulations on a great season and your next step. Enjoy the second half.
We will. All right. Go Mustangs.
All right, there you go. No bias here, but when it says Mount Vernon on it, they can cheer for whoever they want. Let's take a look now. I think, are we going to do some highlights now, guys? Oh, we're going to take a break. Then we're going to show you highlights. We have so much. They're dancing in the stands. We're celebrating up here, Mount Vernon up, 22-15. We'll talk with Coach Spigler in a minute. You are watching the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Basketball Tournament here on Iowa PBS.
Looking for something new to watch? Iowa PBS Passport has you covered. Check out one of our latest shows on the app, Dogs of Service. Stream anytime, anywhere, on any device. Support public media today during festival and see more local programming with Iowa PBS Passport. Don't forget to binge our thrilling dramas, jaw-dropping documentaries, and other PBS favorites today.
The gentle storytelling and picturesque setting of All Creatures Great and Small on Masterpiece continue to enchant PBS viewers. In a new special, we'll discuss the warm, folksy wisdom found in these timeless tales. We'll hear from the cast and creators of the show, and also local residents, including the daughter and son of the author. Join us for All Creatures Great and Small, the wisdom of the Dales.
Sunday evening at 7 on Iowa PBS.
You're invited to a special event in Lincoln, Nebraska, as we celebrate the 50th season of Market to Market. Join me, Paul Yeager, on March 31 at Nebraska Public Media, where I'll lead a live podcast discussion with market analyst Ross Baldwin. We've been a trusted source of agricultural news and analysis for 5 decades. Join us as we look back on 50 incredible seasons and look forward to many more. Reserve your seat at markettomarket.org.
Iowa PBS celebrates Festival with special programs, concerts, and thank you gifts. Be sure to check out the in-person events you can choose as thank you gifts. A day tour of the historic buildings of Mason City and Clear Lake, the exclusive Totally Tractors tour in Waterloo, and a day tour of the historic buildings of Council Bluffs, all taking place this year. Call 800-779-7000. Visit iowapbs.org or scan the QR code and support Iowa PBS today.
Halftime from downtown Des Moines as we're live tonight in all 99 counties across this great state of Iowa. Pink on Wells Fargo Arena there in the Botanical Center on the front. Beautiful night here in our capital city. We've had one championship game. We're in the middle of a second one. It's the Class 3A championship. Dubuque Wahlert's coach, Chris Spigler, is joining us now. Coach, Claire Lucan, 3 points. How do you get her going?
Well, we've got to get her free, first of all, and we're, she's had some good shots, and she's had some shots that just haven't fallen. A couple of our kids have been in the same situation, so the one thing we told our kids for sure that, we wanted to make sure we rebounded well, and we did out-rebound them. But right now we just got to be able to finish some shots and attack. We got to stop their drive, which we knew that was going to be an issue, but we're ready. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Everybody seems to be good. You think they still got that eye of a champion in their eyes?
Oh, absolutely.
All right,
we
thanks,
got a
Coach.
whole half left here.
I appreciate your time so much. Thank you. All right, my thanks to Coach Spigler there. Had great conversations with her last year and this year. And now we're going to see what her team has done here in the first half with our highlights. And early on, it was for Wahlert, Olivia Donovan, as she collects and launches the three and hits it there. And then here it's going to be Caroline Freed. Oh, no, that's Donovan again. Sorry. There's Donovan again with the bucket. Now here's Freed from the corner three. So 3 shots are falling. Those can be contagious for Mount Vernon. It's been Sydney Huber. She has been outstanding in this first half, hitting from deep. Good dribble drive here, and just the good old post move that we see, like the old 6-player days. And then again, turn around and shoot 3. 12 points for Sydney Huber, the senior. Let's go back down court side with Brad Wells and Ellie Ruffridge. Half number 2. Take it away, you two.
All right, thank you very much, Paul. Here's a look at the numbers I'll calculate it for you. Mount Vernon shooting 43%, Wahlert 24% from the floor. And the rebound battle being won by Wahlert right now. Just a couple more turnovers. The points in the paint heavily favoring these Mount Vernon Mustangs. As here at the break, it's Courtney Frank with 5 rebounds. Wahlert with that rebounding advantage. 7 for Olivia Donovan. Donovan, a senior, 3-year starter. Had the Williamsburg coach come up to her when we were talking with all the athletes in the media room afterward, and she said, I love your rebounding. It's fantastic. You jump so high and are just so athletic. Right out of the gates, a jumper from Claire King. And King gets the offensive rebound. Donovan was right there.
Just like Coach said, there's a lot of basketball left to play. And if you're Wahlert, you're in a good position right now. You just got to get a score and a stop. You just got to chip away.
There's the 3 on the way from Lukin. And now a foul called on Freed, trying to rip the ball away. Well, Mount Vernon with a 7-point lead. Head coach Nate Sanderson, he's in year number 4 at Mount Vernon, but his 23rd season as the head coach. He's been here before in this championship game. Won a Class 1A state title in 2016 and 2017 when he was the head coach at Springville. He was runner-up the year prior as well. And talks to the kids about the state experience so that they know what to expect and what's coming.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to him after the semifinal game yesterday. Just his mindset, his coaching philosophy. The girls really love him as a coach, and he just seems like a really great guy who wants the best for his kids. And Mount Vernon came ready to play today, making their coach proud.
They certainly had a fantastic first half, and there's a kick out to the corner for right, and that's rebounded by Lucan. Also for Mount Vernon on that staff is Susan Orvis, and Susan Orvis, she's been here at the state tournament. She was the head coach at Muscatine and was here at the state tournament in 2013. And I said, all right, what's different between 2013 and now? Well, she said, okay, it's always been a spectacle. Even back in my high school days, I would watch the girls' state basketball tournament going. There's just such a huge buzz right now, Ellie. Everything just seems elevated, and the girls' union's doing a great job matching that elevated excitement with the experience they create for the kids.
Well, and we talked about before the 5A game between Dowling and Johnston. Every year it seems like the girls' union, they add one more thing to make the tournament or the atmosphere just a little bit better. And you saw that if you were here. They did a pregame hype video.
Yeah.
That gave me chills.
Yeah, that was brand new this year. An awesome addition. No other high schools have an intro video, right? To get you started for the game. Also, one last note, too, on Susan Orvis, the assistant for Mount Vernon. Grew up in Stanwood, Iowa, played for Lincoln Community High School. There you see her right there. She played 6-on-6, but went on and played college ball at the University of Iowa for C. Vivian Stringer. Played for Coach Viv for a couple years, and then Angie Lee for 2 years after that. Some of her teammates, Jenny Knoll, Mary Bordeaux. Also going from 6-on-6, knowing that when she got to college, it was going to be 5-player full court. She went out for track that senior season. Otherwise, she didn't go out for track, but she knew she needed to get some conditioning in.
Well, and I think a lot of players back in the day had to make that transition from 6-on-6 to 5-on-5.
There's Chloe Meester with her first points of the game, and it gives Mount Vernon their largest lead of the contest, now at 11. And a timeout taken by Dubuque Wahlert as Mount Vernon has it rolling. For the Golden Eagles, head coach Chris Spiegler is going to need to continue to settle the troops here in the third quarter.
Listen, I think we continue that. I think we would get opens if we would just be a little patient on some of the things we're doing. I know we're trying to get some shots that are good, but we can run some flex on those, right? We get that cut, down pick. If it's not there, we run it again. Okay? You'll break down their defense. We're good. We're okay. We're okay.
Let's go through right now, okay? Caroline, we'll get this rebound, right? We'll bring it up, get to Carolina's point. Good screen. They run through you, not fall over, right? You and Luke are over on this side. Good.
3 timeouts left, right? We got 3 left. Okay? Let's go. We got this. We're good. We're good. We're good. 1, 2, 3, Eagles.
Well, Coach Spiegler, she's been around the game for a long time. 40 years as a coach, and I asked her to go all the way back, Ellie. I asked her about her playing day. So she went to Walk-On High School up in Northeast Iowa, played 6-on-6 for Bob Sampson. She said, we never made it to state, but the year after my senior year, Walk-On went to state, went and played at William Penn, as we mentioned earlier, for Bob Spencer and the graduate assistant Bill Fenley, and won a Division II AIAW national title before women's athletics was underneath the NCAA umbrella.
In that timeout, Coach wants her girls to run flex, and that's a lot of their motion offense is running flex, and they can get into flex in a couple of different ways. They can look for high post. They can look for Claire Lucan running the show right there, or they can curl to the hoop. They're just always screening somebody, and that's what Coach Sanderson said on Mount Vernon. They always have to be communicating with each other because in their set plays for Wahlert, there's always screening the screener action.
And at least sometimes if you're struggling hitting a couple of shots, getting to the free throw line can sometimes just help get you in a rhythm.
And I had a few coaches back in the day tell me, you know, if your shots aren't falling, obviously keep shooting and if you have good looks. But sometimes all it takes is one attack to the basket, getting yourself to the free throw line, seeing the ball go in, and then, you know, the rest will take care of itself. So if you're a shooter, get to the free throw line.
Claire Lucan had 3 points in the first half. She was 1 of 8, made a three-pointer. Now 5 points after the free throws, and that's a double dribble on Taylor Frank. And we had a blast talking to the Frank twins, Taylor and Courtney. Taylor was definitely the more chatty of the twins, would you say?
Well, she's older by a minute, so she's got to take over. She's got control over her younger sister. And, yeah, her younger sister didn't really like that. She said, you know what, can you stop talking and, like, let me have a chance to talk?
Even when I asked Courtney a question, Taylor would
answer for
jump
her.
in and answer before Courtney would even get a chance. And just the drive by Claire King. King was a joy to talk with as well. Says Coach Spiegler is just so fun, pushes us hard. She's a cross-country and tennis athlete as well as a member of this basketball team. And there's Huber getting going in the third quarter.
Yeah, going back to Claire King, I had a chance to talk to her one-on-one. Claire King just very humble, happy for her teammates.
I would say soft-spoken,
Yeah,
but
very.
like confident.
Absolutely.
Right? Huber's free throw is good. And it's an 11-point lead for the Mustangs of Mount Vernon. The #1 seed here in this 3A field. Dubuque Wahlert Catholic, the #2 seed. Trying to claw their way back into this one. Offensive rebounds help. Lucan. That free throw may have sparked her. There's a 3 for Claire Lucan. A 2-year captain on this year's team, and a timeout taken by Coach Spiegler.
And again, who got the rebound? Olivia Donovan. Dishes it off to her teammate, Claire Lucan. Teammates making big plays right there, coming up with boards.
Lucan has been such a monster down here, Ellie. In the quarterfinal round game against your Spirit Lake squad, 26 points. In the semifinal win over Williamsburg, she had 27 points. She had 17 points at halftime. Finished with 8 rebounds as well. She has the Wahlert scoring record for career points. And when she broke the career scoring record too. She scored 19 points against Linmar. The previous career scoring leader, Janine Gremmel, class of 1988, sent a text message to Claire. Pretty cool, the past connecting with the present.
Yeah, and we could talk about Claire's basketball game, how great of a basketball player she is, but I think people often forget how great of a person she is too. And Brad, we get the opportunity to talk to these athletes all week, and she's just a very humble leader for this Wahlert crew, and her teammates absolutely love her. She's very humble, and you know, she couldn't do all of these great things without the greatness of her teammates, and that's what I love about athletes, always giving shout outs to their teammates.
And we can't do broadcasts like this without all of our wonderful viewers. If you're joining our coverage via YouTube, tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and thank you for tuning in. Chloe Meester, 2 more points. And for Meester, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Lukin gets fouled. So Lukin goes to the free throw line. Claire Lukin was talking about her mom. Her mom, Dawn, played at Wahlert as well, went on to play at Coe College, and says she's just my biggest fan. Such a huge support system, and so much goes into the families. Ellie, as a coach now, you're seeing the other side of it. You felt it as a player, the support from these parents, but the communities as a whole, right? Like, it really helps make these teams special.
Oh, for sure. And me as a coach, being the competitor that I am, and also just knowing like the community support, we want it just as bad as the athletes themselves want it. Like, we're committed to the team, and we want nothing but success for them. So again, when you have a mom or a dad or anybody special to you, it's going to mean so much when you do succeed. And that's Claire's mom, Dawn, for her.
Yeah. Taylor Frank coming up short on the shot now. Donovan misses, rebound by Meester, and we have a stoppage. Is this for a
bench
coach's warning?
It's a bench warning.
Coach Chris Spiegler takes a seat now. These are 2 scrappy teams, physical game. Coach Spiegler, that's what she's like on the pickleball court. That's why nobody wants to mess with Coach. A retired teacher, still coaching Dubuque Wahlert basketball. Meester shot off the mark, rebound underneath for Wright. And now on the drive. Oh, nice wraparound for Sydney Huber.
Yeah, Sydney Huber saw that baseline was wide open. There was no one in the lane to help, and she had an easy reverse layup right there for an easy 2. And again, we didn't really talk about this at halftime, but one of the statistics that I circled was Mount Vernon's points in the paint. Yeah. They're dominating in the paint.
We're up big. A 16-4 advantage in that first half, and the trend seemingly continuing here in this 3rd quarter. 42 seconds to play in quarter number 3 of our 3A championship game. Johnston, the 1 seed, won the 5A matchup. There's a block by Courtney Frank, and Meester with the rebound. It's 26-6 now, points in the paint. And getting into the paint is Wright. Donovan tripping her up. And I think we'll have free throws here. And so Savannah Wright goes to the free throw line. Coach Nate Sanderson told us we knew she'd be good. We did not know she would be this good this early. I mentioned a 23-point game in the quarterfinals.
I had a good conversation with Sav. They call her Sav. And when it comes to sports, especially the game of basketball, she's going to try golf, by the way.
Okay.
But she said when it comes to basketball, she likes to have the mindset of a goldfish. And a goldfish, they forget what happens 10 seconds afterwards. So you know what? If you make a mistake, flush it, move on to the next play, make an impact.
Ted Lasso reference right there. Goldfish, be a goldfish. Final 5 seconds of the third quarter. Offensive rebound and the putback. Olivia Donovan, the senior, gets 2 big ones right before the horn. So 36-26 up on the scoreboard here in Wells Fargo Arena with just 8 minutes to play. And the road to state, a little history and inspiration in the backstage hallways here at Wells Fargo Arena. The adornments, the interactive, the wall of players' names, posted messages. I've seen so many people check out the school stickers on the floor. And Ellie, I like this, the pink lights. That's a nice new addition. It's a neat atmosphere here. Gets the players fired up for state tournament basketball. She is Ellie Ruffridge. I am Brad Wells. And you got one last quarter to go for Dubuque Wahlert to try and come back and win this state championship game. How do they chip away at this Mount Vernon lead?
Again, it's only a 10-point game. You look up at the clock, you got 8 minutes to go. It's taking it one possession at a time. And right there, Olivia Donovan stepping up again. I said that she needed to step up big. She's got 10 boards right now, 7 points. That's her average. If she keeps, you know, making those plays on the offensive side, the defensive side, they're in a good position. But again, it comes down to execution, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Ellie, Dubuque Wahlert, they're used to playing tough teams. They play mostly 5A and 4A schools in their conference and in their area. They're ready for just about anything, aren't they?
Yeah, you have a really good strength of schedule. You set your team up for success because you're being battle tested on a weekly basis. And again, coaches like to do that. And again, you could say that about Mount Vernon. Their first 2 losses of the season, they lost to Xavier, they lost to Estherville Lincoln Central. So right at the beginning of the season, they're being battle tested to prepare them for moments like this.
Yeah, they're only 2 losses of the season, by the way. That 24-game winning streak could go to 25 if Mount Vernon claims the state title. And there's 2 points towards that as Savannah Wright, the freshman, steps up to start quarter number 4.
And I've really seen Savannah be able to score at all 3 levels. She can attack the basket. She can pull up with a jumper right there coming off of a screen or just hit the 3. But she's also a really good facilitator.
Claire Lucan, she can hit that 3. But here's Sydney Huber. Travel ball teammates going one-on-one in the state championship game. 3 from the corner, Claire King.
Really big shot right there by Claire King.
How about 7 points, 6 rebounds for Claire King, who stands 5 feet 5 inches.
Hey, we stood side by side. I'm like, hey, we're about the same height right here. I'm like, don't let that affect your game. You go out there, you play hard. And right there, knocked down a really big shot. And as you can see, she's not afraid to go after that ball.
Hey, you never let it affect your game at all when you won a state title with the Pocahontas Indians. 30-second timeout taken. Let's listen in to Nate Sanderson in the Mount Vernon huddle.
We're coming back. Chloe, give her a second to get a little bit higher, then find Lucan, and let's try to get Sid going here. E, you're going to be the spot where it says that lift. Here, Sav, you're going to go dummy, dummy, and then hard cut right here, okay? Down to 1, 2, throw it in front of her. Let's make that layup here. Hey, on defense, stay in front. We don't have to gamble too much for steals. Stay in front, rebound the ball. Let's go. Team.
All right, there's a listen in the Mount Vernon huddle. And Ellie, what a job Nate Sanderson has done at turning this program around. In 2020, 2021, Mount Vernon went 1-20. The next season, Coach Sanderson took over. They went 12-11. Year number 2, they went 16-8. Year 3, 22-4 last year. Made it to the semifinals, and now in the championship game here.
Yeah, it's really remarkable what what he has done to get his group of girls in this position right here. And a big emphasis when he was hired was to start a youth program. You know, and if you want to have a program that, you know, can qualify for the state tournament, it starts with your youth. And how much time you invest with your youth program. You're getting volunteer coaches, you're getting your high school players involved, and that is exactly what he did here at Mount Vernon. And look at the turnaround he's made.
Building for the future as well when you start to get youth involved, and then making a run to the state tournament. And the state championship game certainly helps build the energy and the excitement. Mount Vernon looking for their first state title since 2010. In 2011, they were state runners-up. For Dubuque Wahlert, their first appearance ever in a state championship game. Still not out of it, just down 9 with 5:50 to play. Frank to right with 4 points, 2 rebounds. Off the mark there. Courtney Frank saves it, but right to Ruth Tauber. Now here comes Donovan. Lucy Lukin kicks it out. Lucy Lukin fires the 3, and it's good. Lucy Lukin's first basket of the game, the sophomore Lukin. Just like that makes it a 6-point game.
And how cool to have a group of sisters on each squad, but just to play with your sister and experience the journey together, this experience together.
Let's take a look at this. Claire King, the kick out. That was with Chloe Meester running straight at her.
Fearless.
Into the free throw line, Sydney Huber. Huber having a fantastic championship game. 18 points for her. She'll play Division I basketball at Evansville. Was the 3A volleyball all-tournament team member. The volleyball team's setter, by the way. Distributing the basketball around is another thing that she does as well. Almost 3 assists per game is the average on the season. Lucy Lukin just held that pivot foot.
Yeah, I think right there they had Tauber cutting, looking for maybe a lopside pass on the backside. She thought about passing it, but then at the last second said, I don't think I should throw that.
Wahlert bringing some full court pressure even on misses here, Ellie.
Yeah, mixing it up, throwing different looks at Mount Vernon. It's not a bad strategy to have.
And that's going to be an over and back violation on Mount Vernon. Dubuque Wahlert creates a stop. So Taylor Frank back into the game. Erin Jackson checks out. Erin Jackson will play volleyball at Mount Mercy. Yes. She was that volleyball team as well. 15 digs for Erin Jackson in the championship match. She heads out. Huber throws it ahead to right. And Frank gets tied up and rips it away from Tauber, and then finds Huber for the 3.
Right place at the right time. Mount Vernon actually did a pretty good job breaking that press. Got into a little bit of trouble right there in the half court. But who else than Sydney Huber to be right there?
And Lukin rolls around the rim, will not fall. Claire Lukin into double figures, though, does have 10 points. .330 to play. Taylor Frank misses the layup. Here comes Ruth Tauber. She's planning to play softball at the University of Northern Iowa. We've got some athletes on the floor, Ellie.
We do, and you can see it just with their skill sets. And we talk about this all the time, but you have these athletes.
Holy cow.
Again,
yeah, athletes
who play in multi-sports, and it just pays off no matter what sport you're in, you know? Like, you could be a good softball player, but again, you're on the basketball court making an impact.
Olivia Donovan, a senior, wants to play college volleyball. You can tell she's got some hops right there. A phenomenal rebounder. As there's 2 more points for Sydney Huber. For Dubuque Wallert's Olivia Donovan, number 3. So Dubuque is in the tri-state area up in northeast Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Olivia lives in Wisconsin. Her sister Emma is at state twice in basketball and plays basketball and soccer at UW Eau Claire. Brother plays soccer at Eau Claire. She's liking what she's hearing from UW Whitewater, but still yet to determine what her future holds officially. Offensive rebound basket by Ruth Tauber, the softball star for this Golden Eagles team, and a timeout taken by Coach Chris Spiegler. Well, Elliot, so much going on here at Wells Fargo Arena. Here's a look at the Players Lounge. This is at the south end of the floor. This is a place to chill, just hang with your friends, away from the hustle and bustle of the court. No coaches yelling at you over here. It's a lounge mainstay here. The queen of the court, the pink throne, with which the Girls Athletic Union has helped set the tone for championship events. Did I see you sitting in that chair earlier this week? No?
No.
Must have been a Ellie Ruffridge look-alike
No,
then.
I'm not that
Are
royal.
you sure?
No.
Oh, you are royal of royal. Congratulations, by the way. Tomorrow, you'll be honored on the court at halftime. You'll be inducted into the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. What's that mean to you when you got that call?
So actually, I got the phone call in the middle of a class, and I know this probably isn't very professional to
Sixth grade
answer
class,
your
is
phone,
that right?
but I was like, oh, I should probably answer this. And you know, my 6th graders, Miss Ruffridge, answer. So I answered it, and I was like, oh, I'm getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's quite hit me yet, the emotions. It probably won't hit me until tomorrow when my family's here, and I have a ton of teammates coming and supporting me.
That's awesome.
The Spirit Lake girls are coming here as well, so I just think the support will be very overwhelming for me. And I had a bunch of high school teammates reach out, and I mean, I tell them I couldn't be in this situation without you girls. So again, it takes a village.
Well, they're going to wave that one off. Claire Lucan gets called for the offensive foul. As of the minute 26 to play here in the 4th. That's number 4 now on Lucan. And down 9. Maybe the biggest thing with just a minute 26 left, Ellie, is Wahlert loses the possession.
Yeah, they lose the possession right there, and that's big right there. Looking up, though, at the fouls, both Mount Vernon and Wahlert have fouls to give, so if they find themselves in a situation, they could commit a foul.
Would you commit a foul, or do you go just super aggressive and try and steal the ball away?
Well, looks like Wahlert right here is looking to commit those fouls and put the Mustangs on the free throw line.
Have to stop the clock, absolutely.
I do feel like this 4th quarter, the pace has just been much faster, and on the defensive side, teams have been more aggressive, maybe taking more risks.
There's Huber getting hounded and double-teamed by Lucy Lucan and Ruth Tauber. Good sportsmanship from Tauber. The softball star helped the Golden Eagles to the state tournament. Foul committed on the baseline, a minute 12 to play. So up to the free throw line goes Savannah Wright. Mount Vernon Mustangs have won 24 straight games. Claire Lucan back back into the game. As Mila Bright hopped. And Lucy Lukin check out.
And if you're Wahlert right here, you gotta get a basket really quick right here.
Donovan attacking, now looking for help. Tauber step back three. Rebounded underneath by Meester, and the throw out to Wright. And now ahead to Taylor Frank. And Frank gets fouled by King. And there's 51.7 seconds left, an 11-point game.
I thought that was a really savvy, smart play right there by Taylor Frank. She could have driven in for a layup, but no, she decided, you know what, I'm going to use some clock right here. Good clock management, just pulling it out because she knew she was going to have Wahlert defenders coming at her and fouling her.
One of 4 captains on this Mount Vernon basketball team. It's 1 of 2. And the rebound's out of bounds. It'll be Wahlert basketball. Final seconds of this 4th quarter. The rebound by Courtney Frank may do it. Dubuque Wahlert may drop back here as the Mount Vernon crowd rises to their feet. Sydney Huber, the basketball star that will go to Evansville to play Division I hoops. 24 points for her. Chloe Meester, 5 points, 7 rebounds. How about Courtney Frank? 6 points, 11 rebounds for the twin, the younger twin.
The younger twin. She was all over, and I was so impressed with her on-ball defense. She was scrappy. She was going after the 50-50 balls.
And they will take a shot clock violation, and with 4.1 seconds on the clock, Dubuque Wahlert will inbound it. And the Mount Vernon Mustangs in 2025 are your 3A state champs. Ellie, Mount Vernon really from the start. Sydney Huber, that fantastic start in the 1st quarter, and then they just played comfortable and fast, played their game start to finish.
They did, and it definitely started with that 1st quarter with Sydney Huber. But if you look at all of the stats, every single player for Mount Vernon contributed.
Absolutely did. They win their 25th straight game as their last loss December 3rd to Cedar Rapids Prairie, who's here at the state tournament. Let's hear our trophy presentations then.
President of the Iowa Farm Bureau and Governor Kim Reynolds. Joining them are members of the IGHSAU Board of Directors. From Mount Vernon, Courtney Frank. From Williamsburg, Carly Rich. From Esterville, Lincoln Central, Haley Stokes. From Mount Vernon, Savannah Wright. From Wahlert Catholic, Claire Lucan. And the captain of the 3A All-Tournament team, from Mount Vernon, Sydney Huber.
Here's a look at your all-tournament team for Class 3A in 2025. Sydney Hubert, the captain, 16 points in the quarterfinals, 11 points in the semis, 24 points in a championship effort in the title game. Six individuals with fantastic futures ahead of them.
Absolutely. Looking at those 6 individuals, great state tournament, but great overall basketball players that have a bigger and better future ahead of them.
This year's top producer of the 3A championship game from Mount Vernon, Sydney Huber. Recognize your 2025 Class 3A runner-up, the Dubuque Wahlert Catholic Golden Eagles and head coach Chris Spiegler. Fans, let's hear it for your 2025 3A champion, the Mount Vernon Mustangs and head coach Nate Sanderson.
So Mount Vernon, 2024 volleyball state champs. How about the 24-25 3A basketball state champions? Chloe Meester puts the sticker on the board. It is official. Ellie, both these programs really phenomenal. Dubuque Wahlert in their first state championship game in school history. Mount Vernon, after last year losing to ELC in the semifinals, they beat ELC in the semifinals, and they closed the deal out with a championship win.
Yeah, well, first of all, congratulations to Dubuque Wahlert on a fantastic season. But then again, for Mount Vernon, what an accomplishment that this is. Again, we talked about a couple years ago, they were what? What was their record again?
1-20, I believe.
1-20,
right?
and now they are 24-25 state champions in Class 3A. That's hard to do, and again, give a lot of credit to the coaching staffs, the families, the parents that sacrifice so much for their daughters to just be a part of this memorable and unforgettable moment.
And I love that. Jump into the student section. Let's do our team photo in the student section for Mount Vernon. That's awesome right there. Well, from the bottom to the top for Mount Vernon, how about from the bottom, from court side here? Let's go up top. Paul Yeager, ready to break this down.
Hey, thank you there. Very great job as always, Brad and Ellie. And yes, that is fantastic. Let's see if that trophy for basketball rides in the front seat of the bus on the way home to Mount Vernon. All right, congratulations, 2 champions done. So 5A and 3A in the books. We have Johnston going back-to-back. Mount Vernon, your winner tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to do this 3 more times. 4A, 2A, 1A. Pre-game coverage begins at 2 o'clock. I'll be with Ellie and Laura for the pre-game show. Then we're going to do some basketball. For all of us here on the court, in the truck, behind the cameras, thank you so very much for watching. We'll see you Saturday for the final 3 games of the 2025 basketball season.
Funding provided by
the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services encourages Iowans to talk to their doctor or healthcare provider about vaccines. Learn more at hhs.iowa.gov or ask your healthcare provider.
With our Iowa roots and Midwestern values, Farmers Mutual Hail is committed to offering innovative farm insurance for America's farmers, just as we have for 6 generations. Farmers Mutual Hail, America's crop insurance company.
Fairway Meat and Grocery. For more than 80 years, Fairway has been proud to be an active part of the communities we serve. Learn more at fairway.com.
Across Iowa,
Hundreds of neighborhood banks strive to serve their communities, provide jobs, and help local businesses. Iowa banks are proud to back the life you build. Learn more at iowabankers.com.
Musco Lighting is honored to support Iowa PBS. We're an Iowa company that lights local schools, community fields, and stadiums, arenas, and venues in more than 125 countries. While our reach is global, our commitment is local.